This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out of Me.
Welcome, everyone, to They Mostly Come Out at Night. That's right.
Mostly Come Out at Night, request edition,
Request
baby.
edition. We do a request episode every 5 episodes. So if you do have a suggestion and want us to watch a movie, go ahead and go to any of our social medias. Go and request that, and we will
or request
add
it
to
on
the list.
on the podcast episodes themselves.
Yes. Lots of thoughts about tonight's request, but we will get to that. First off, I want you to go to your web zones. I want you to go to your YouTubes. Sorry, I'm a little buzzed. The liquor was flowing and the movie was trash. So
It had to.
Stuff is happening. Will is a little buzzed. So I'm sorry you're going to get a little bit of a weird vibe.
Will's buzzed and Alex is salty.
Yeah.
but
So it's going to be an interesting episode. It's going to be a good episode, though.
Oh, yeah.
Go to your web zones. Go to YouTube. Go to Spotify. Go to wherever you get your podcasts. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Do all the good stuff. Share it to your friends. Whatever you do to help the podcast out, we really appreciate you, and we appreciate you just listening. If you do want to put a suggestion in, like I said, any social media, just go ahead and drop it. We will add it to the list.
Yeah, or put it or comment on YouTube. That's how most of them come through.
Anything you want to do. We've had like Facebook comments. We've had Instagram comments. We've had... we've had YouTube comments is the biggest one, but anywhere you want to put it. Follow us on Instagram. We're at TMCOAN. That's Team Cone. Go ahead and follow us there. And yeah, let's get into the episode, into the request. I think that's all the business.
That is the business. I need to talk about this. So
we're going back into the 60s.
Our good pal.
We're going...
Blackwater Media recommended, well, I should say requested, like 4 Al Adamson joints.
If you haven't, and I will do a little tiny shout out here, go check out Blackwater Media. He does like
cryptozoology stuff.
Yeah, cryptozoology stuff. It's really cool, really interesting. If you're into that sort of stuff, he does a really good job. Really supports the podcast too. So we really like him.
Now,
this is no judgment against you, Blackwater Media.
No, I know what you're doing. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Like,
so
here's my like first thought, right?
Blood of ghastly horror.
I did not realize that Al Adamson could get worse.
So here's what's I think about 20 minutes into this, maybe not even 20 minutes, maybe like 10 minutes into this.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, this is not a movie. What do I mean by that?
Well, because it's like 3 movies put together.
Right. Because I said the same thing when we watched a little movie called Ninja Terminator, and I was like, this is...
Where they watched another movie.
This is not a movie.
When the little robot just, like gave him a VHS, and he was...
Well, that and, like, you have
popped it
2
in.
separate plot points that are not...
Yeah, and then a third
connected.
movie. Yeah.
Just 2 separate movies.
Like Tiger 1.
Smashed.
Tiger 1.
Yeah.
Okay? Never forget.
But this, I had the same feeling. I was like, this is not a movie. This is separate films Frankensteined together. And, well, spoiler.
I cannot believe you were fucking right.
Spoiler alert.
Oh my God.
That is literally what we got. But
Al Adamson not only released this movie once, he released it 3 fucking separate times.
So, let's
should we dissect each movie individually?
No,
Or do you wanna
let's
do
get
it?
to that later. At the end, let's get to that at the end.
Okay.
Let's talk about what we watched, what we experienced here.
Okay.
So the movie starts with the most like ugly nighttime alleyway.
Can I just say real quick before we get too far into it without the credits? The opening credits have nothing to fucking do with any of the rest of the movie.
That's not even worth mentioning.
I think it is because it's hilarious. It's just like some random fucking like statue of like a Native American thing.
Women.
Yeah. And it's just like it's just that for the whole opening credits. But yeah, so we get
It looks like Frankenstein.
Yeah, so he's
with one eye,
and he like kills like 5 fucking people in like one like minute.
He strangles random people.
He
And,
just,
and
like-
I do mean random.
Just like people will walk up and he'll just kill them.
It's like 2 women and a cop.
Yeah.
I remember the cop, and that's it. There's no...
Well, the cop just like walks up, looks at what's going on, and then gets choked out. And then another person will walk up, gets choked out, and then like
But this doesn't have anything to do with anything. And then we have
2 detectives.
This is... Every scene in this was like... I am not claustrophobic, but I was getting...
Al Adamson likes to get very fucking close
But only
to his...
in this scene.
I don't know why, but like, yeah, in this detective office, you get really fucking up close and comfortable with your fucking like main character.
When you get 2 of like the worst fucking actors, that he looks like he just grabbed them from like a pawn shop.
Yeah, for
and
real.
and you just smash the camera in their face.
He's like,
"Am I wrong?"
No, just like fucking just like
yeah.
so close that if he went any closer, you would see their nose
Yeah.
like being smushed
I can
against the
see
lens.
the sweat dripping down their forehead. Like, and it's just awkward. And they're just talking about these murders. And one of them's like, "I know what this is."
Well, and he like starts recollecting about a case.
Do you remember the Joe Corey case?
Yeah, and he's
And
like,
the guy's like, "No."
I remember, and he's like, let me explain.
me tell
And
you
then
a thing.
Fucking flashback starts.
And they zoom in on his face. And
By flashback, I mean they go to the next movie.
that's when I knew. I was like, this is not a movie. But
Because it's a bunch of guys dressed as doctors.
robbing a...
The jewelry store that looks like a office. There's like...
It is an office.
I love how there's like 3 or 4 pieces of jewelry on the shelf, and they take it like it's like a full fucking, and this is like $500,000 worth of jewelry.
That's what they say, $500,000.
Because they explain it later. It's
And
$500,000.
This is the 60s, so that's a lot of money.
That is a fuckload of money for the 60s. That's like way more now. And so this is probably like millions and millions of dollars.
Right.
And so they're grabbing like 2 or 3 pieces of jewelry.
And they tie up the two employees.
And so what they do is they go out into a separate room and they take off all the like doctor's equipment.
and they get in their casual outfits.
And they go, one goes upstairs and into an elevator, so it looks like they're not all meeting each other in the elevator. And the woman tied up is like slowly crawling to an alarm. And so they're trying to get down because it's supposed to be tense, right?
The elevator's slowly
because
going
it's
down.
like slowly going down, and
But
they're
it's
getting
stopping at every floor.
Well, they're getting nervous because they're picking up more and more people, and the woman is getting closer and closer to the alarm.
And you see
I love how this is supposed to be all tense and stuff, but it does not. There's no tension whatsoever. It's just hilarious.
See, here's the thing. There might be tension in the context of the original movie.
Right.
But being that this is just a flashback, why the fuck do we care?
Well, we don't.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But like this flashback lasts for like 20 minutes, so buckle in.
But longer than that.
So they finally get to the ground floor, and she presses the alarm, and like one of them runs out and onto like a parking garage and throws the like the suitcase full of like the 2 pieces of jewelry into a truck bed.
Yeah, and it's just like
And the cop's like, stop, wait,
and they shoot him.
They shoot him, and then
one of them
one of the dudes shoots the cop, and
who he ends up becoming the villain.
Yeah.
When
he goes up to the fucking like guy laying on the ground being shot, and he's like,
Help me.
help me, and he's like, and he just shoots him,
and he just shoots him.
and then he's like, and like runs back into the building,
and but the truck with the loot drives away, and it's like
it makes sure to show like Jackson, like
Clark Construction Company.
Clark Construction.
Basically, they don't have the loot.
So
the truck drives home, and then it like falls off the bed. The bag,
like their girl finds the jewelry and just picks it up, and you see, and then nothing else happens.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, there's this detective going to interview this doctor,
dude.
and this is our third movie. So,
bro,
the detective keeps
ass.
This detective keeps interviewing this doctor who's experimenting with like
bringing
dead
brain tissue back to life.
Neuroelectrons, where he's like creating an electronic brain that like fires the synapses so like a reanimated corpse can come back to life.
Because what happens is they look at the fingerprints of the robbery and they're like, well, one of those guys, he died 2 years ago.
Yeah, like how is he still doing this?
And for whatever reason, through reasons that were either explained or not explained, it really doesn't matter.
Well, so
he knows this doctor,
but the doctor doesn't
knows
explain jack shit,
Yet.
right? So now we get our main guy, that like the evil guy that shot the dude that was writhing on the ground. He follows like a woman into the Clark engineering thing, and he like kills her because he wants to get information on where they live.
On where the guy who owns the company lives.
So then he goes to where they live
with a bunch of goons,
Yes.
including a man with a glued-on goatee.
Yeah, and they all interrogate, they harass this guy.
And he's like, I don't know nothing.
And he's like, I don't know, I think like my wife and daughter are gone somewhere.
Well, they look through like a binder, and they see a photo of his wife, and they're like,
Yeah,
okay,
well, and then
talk
like,
to her.
okay, like let's go talk to her. So they go to like some random place.
He goes
to a random place, and he finds, basically he goes to a hotel bar and is like, hey, like, do you know where this woman went? And
because she's a nightclub singer.
And the bartender's like, no, but that
she
girl
does.
over there does. And he's like, you get her to drink, she'll tell you anything you want to know.
So he takes her to a hotel.
He takes her to a hotel,
and she tells him that she's going to Lake Tahoe. And then
the guy strangles her because he gets all angry for some reason. And then
he's a psycho. And he strangles her while Al Adamson does his best impression of Peeping Tom from 1960.
Well, there's these like just awkward close-ups, and like the dark scenes look so ass. The dark scenes look so bad. There's no lighting whatsoever.
Don't mention it. It is low-hanging fruit.
So he knows that he's going to Lake Tahoe. Yes, this is still the flashback of the fucking detective.
Then, at some point, the detective is back to the mad scientist doctor, and the doctor tells him...
He's like, I lied to you.
He's like, I have something to tell you.
I was experimenting on Joe Schmo or whatever the fuck
Joe
his name.
Corey.
Yeah.
Who
I'm gonna call him.
got...
Oh, we forgot to mention they in the beginning the two detectives that are having this flashback, they open a.
Oh my god!
They open a package and it's
the cop.
And it's the cop's head, but you can clearly tell it's literally just the guy sticking his face through like a bunch of like newspaper. And it looks so fucking dumb.
It's the cop that the Frankenstein guy murders.
And it's
in the
like,
beginning.
will die for Corey.
And it says like, yeah, like I don't even know, but he like I guess ripped the cop's head off and mailed it to them. But my favorite is when they open the fucking box, one of the cops like grins.
Yeah, well, they're supposed to be all like surprised and like shocked, right? But one of the cops is like grinning.
Oh no, it's
so weird.
It's Detective Smith.
I mean, listen, in these movies you can't expect like great acting, but like my god,
I expect
they could have tried something. Al Adamson could have reshot that.
But Joe Corey is he got shrapnel. Or he died from shrapnel, or he got shrapnel in his brain.
So yeah, so we're still in the flashback because the detective is interviewing the doctor again, and the doctor's like, "Okay, I'll tell the truth. This guy got like shrapnel. I was experimenting on him. Basically, I brought him back to life with a fucking miner's helmet that was that a bunch of wires were glued to.
He uses a miner's helmet and a like a deep sea diving helmet with a light bulb in it.
And so he brings this guy back to life,
but with a stupid computer chip.
But he also has like really bad anger issues.
Yeah, but now he's like not the same.
He's like a psychotic killer now.
Whatever.
So the doctor's like, I did this and you need to find him and stop him because I have to tell someone.
And then at some point there is our dude after he strangles.
Well, so instead of going to Lake Tahoe, our psychotic killer, Joe Corey,
he goes
to the doctors.
And he knocks out the doctor.
And it's the oh my god, dude, the lamest explosion.
It's not an explosion. Just like
it's
not a movie.
There's explosion sounds.
I don't.
And a fire. There is.
They can pretend what they want to pretend.
It's an explosion.
He straps.
Listen, it's an explosion if you use your imagination.
Adamson was using something.
Yeah.
He straps the doctor to the miner's helmet.
Yeah, and then the flames go up, and
He cranks the machine up to 11.
It makes like explosion sounds, and then it's supposed to be like the doctor's office explodes.
And then
the flashback stops
back to the present with the detectives, and
so now the doctor's daughter
is in the police station.
Just conveniently.
Well, because one of them's like, "Hey, did you forget you have a..."
Yeah, like an interview with her. And so she starts talking and is like, hey, like, someone's using my dad's shit. And
No, she says, this makes no sense, but she says that she's getting, like, voodoo dreams. Remember this garbage?
This goes nowhere.
This goes fucking nowhere.
Because it's like voodoo dreams, and she's having, like, premonitions and fucking weird witch doctor shit. Like,
yeah.
I don't really know.
Because... Oh my god. And then what you basically have is you have Joe Corey's dad returned from Jamaica,
and he like
where he was experimenting on zombies with voodoo.
So it's like voodoo zombies. It's not like traditional zombies.
That's
or like I mean
technically
it's like old school zombies. Yeah, sorry. You're right. You're right. It's not like Miller zombies.
Go watch White Zombie.
Yeah.
But he's
experimenting on this one dude
named like Arco or some shit.
Argo
that's the Frankenstein guy.
Yeah, so he keeps giving him this liquid to wake him up from like the dead, and like he does his bidding. That's like basically.
But he needs the red liquid.
But he wants to kidnap the doctor's daughter
because he wants to avenge his son,
which is Joe Corey.
Who you'll find out what happened to him, I guess. But
the only reason you know it's Joe Corey is because he has just a little photo of him.
He has a photo of him.
I will avenge you, my son.
And he calls the daughter.
He calls the daughter and says like she has some stuff that her dad left behind, and she needs to come pick it up. And so she goes for some reason and trusts this guy. I don't know.
Tases her or Vulcan neck pinches her.
He like does something and fucking she passes out and then
she wakes up in his like lab and we get another flashback.
I just love the Al Adamson shot of just her cleavage and the bottom of her chin for like no reason.
Al Adamson's an idiot.
Well, because Al Adamson, if you know, like his 70s shit, like when you can actually show nudity in movies.
Any opportunity.
Because this is the closest he could probably get in the 60s, so he just tried everything he could to show boobies.
Fuck this.
Because fucking Al Adamson loves boobies.
But we get another flashback.
And so it goes into
this is what happened to my son.
He's like, he was chased down by the police department and
shot. The whole state. The whole state. He says that.
Okay, keep that in mind. The entire state.
No. It's an Al Adamson movie. Don't fucking keep that in mind.
There's two. That's
detectives. All you can get.
Two detectives is the whole state.
You get the continuation of of movie one, where he meets the woman and her daughter
at like the Lake Tahoe airport or whatever
with her doll
and
in Lake Tahoe.
Drives them.
He basically kidnaps them.
He kidnaps them and takes them into the middle of the fucking like woods.
And then there's some guy who is like, I don't know if he's like his assistant or what, but at some point he has like a change of heart that he thinks he's gone too far, and he basically fights him while the woman and her daughter escape.
Well, the husband also comes to Lake Tahoe to look for them.
Husband?
The fucking...
I know the cops are there, but...
No, but the guy with the bandage on his fucking... Because he's calling their names.
I guess.
Something, Veronica, blah, blah, blah. And it's like echoing all over the place.
But he escapes. Well, they fight. The daughter and her mom escape.
They get in the car and they go. And then Joe Corey stops the guy. This is one of my favorite parts. He stops the guy in a car and by gunpoint pulls him out.
With overdubbed voice.
But the guy says absolutely nothing, right?
Until-
absolutely nothing
yeah.
until Joe Corey is like miles away.
He's like, hey.
He says, "Hey." Dude, you can't make this shit up.
No, my favorite bit is at some point, for no inexplicable reason, there's like a fucking Lake Mungo shot where you know what I'm talking about.
It like blurs her face and whatever.
Well, no, she's like, you see her like running away. It's like they have a flashlight shining one direction in the camera, and then she just like booking it into like darkness, and then you see him just booking it into the darkness, and I'm just like, it looks like something out of a found footage movie.
But it's so poorly edited that it looks like a snuff film.
Yeah,
It's so bad. It's so bad.
After like 5 minutes of the most boring, unspeakably boring car chase I've ever seen in my life,
They get out of the cars.
They
And
get to,
they
like-
chase each other into the mountains.
through like the snow and like a little river, and then they keep chasing, and then the cops show up with, I guess, the husband, and then they climb up to like, mind you, this is like 10 minutes of nothing. Of nothing.
At one point, the daughter drops the doll.
Oh, this is
and
great.
my brain just completely snapped.
She has like a, I don't know, it's like a toddler sized doll, and there's a part where she drops it and it like tumbles down the mountain.
I legitimately legitimately thought it was one of the actors supposedly like dying.
Well, because
and
they're
rolling
shooting
down
at
the
each
hill.
other.
Yeah, because like she drops the doll, and I thought that's what they used as a fucking like rag doll.
Like an actor, yeah.
Rolling down the-
It was incredible.
like I know it wasn't now, but like watching it, my brain just snapped. Something inside me watching this movie that's like an hour and 20 minutes long. At this point, my brain just fucking snapped because it felt like we were watching it for like 4 hours
Well,
at this point.
Bro, this is the longest hour, 25 minutes of my life. But my brain snapped at that moment. There's a moment when he's waiting for them in Lake Tahoe, and you get like a 1 second shot of him,
Of the sun like blazing
of him
into his
staring
face.
into the sun. That my brain broke then. And then like the Lake Mungo shot, my brain broke. Like, there were a handful of
Multiple
moments
times, yeah.
of just like, it was so stupid that I couldn't handle it. But he has like a little mini shootout, and then he's like, he gets shot, and he's clutching the doll because the jewelry's in the
And
doll,
the detective's like, drop it, and like,
and he shoots him.
yeah, he shoots him again, and like,
And
he
then
smears blood all over his face.
they throw a dummy with the doll off the mountain, and then that's the end of that plot line. And then it cuts back to the doctor being like, "So you see, I have to avenge my son."
So he makes the daughter a fucking zombie and is like, you must drink the red liquid to fucking not be a zombie.
But before all this, she sent a letter to the cops saying, "Hey, I'm meeting this guy."
So they know where to go.
Yeah, so the cops are on the way.
So then the zombie breaks out of his like cardboard fucking prison cell.
One of the cops shows up, the guy with the fucking tiny tie.
This is another fucking scene where I lost my shit because Al Adamson in this entire movie doesn't know how to frame a fucking shot.
He knows. Well, what's weird is there's 3 movies, right? So for some reason in our last movie, which chronologically filmed, for some reason he just forgot how to frame people's faces.
I love when the detective enters because there's like a sliding door, and so he like kicks the door down
With,
and
like, his gun,
slides the door open, and you see like a third of his fucking body as he's barging into this fucking warehouse.
Nonsense.
It's so fucking funny.
But he goes in and he's like, he's like, "Drop it, stop what you're doing," and then the
zombie like reaches out from his like cardboard jail cell and like chokes him out.
Why do we say cardboard?
Because it's like you can see in a mirror it's like shaking and it looks so fake.
It's not just shaking a little, it's shaking a lot.
And then he like breaks the plastic chain on the fucking cardboard.
After like, because basically what he does is when he turns the woman into an old lady and she's like, "What did you do to me?" And he's like, "You see him? He's dying. he is useless to me
He
now.
needs this liquid.
You are going to be my next beautiful butterfly. And then
The
zombie hears
breaks
it
out.
and is like, oh, hell no.
Oh, fuck that. And he like breaks out and he goes to choke the doctor and he's like, you need this liquid to survive. And then he throws it against the wall and the zombie chokes him out. And then the zombie starts dying and like crawling over to the liquid and like starts lapping it up with his fucking feet.
So here's my question. So he's like, this is the last vial of the liquid.
Yeah.
And he throws it and breaks it, right?
Yeah.
What does the woman drink?
Well, because remember he says the red liquid will like cure you. But I don't know why the zombie that was dying didn't go for the red liquid too.
Because I thought he did.
He didn't. He went for the little liquid that makes you alive for a minute. But he didn't go for the red liquid for some reason. I'm just like that's what happened to me.
I think that's a plot hole.
It is a giant plot hole. But
I know it's bold for this movie.
That's how they do it. Because they explain that the red liquid will bring you back to life.
They don't explain fucking shit.
He did explain the red liquid. He didn't explain what it was. He just said it will bring you back to life.
What does that mean?
I have no fucking idea.
She's just old.
I fucking don't know. She also grew a headband when she was growing old, so I don't know.
Yeah, she grew her hair out too. But she drinks it.
And she goes back to normal.
And then the living detective comes in and like saves her, and everything's fine, and the movie ends. Now, let's talk shop here, okay?
All right, let's do it.
So, Al Adamson
Yep.
made a movie called Psycho A Go-Go, which was a very basic crime robbery movie.
Yeah.
That is the movie with Joe Corey and the jewels and all that.
Right.
That was just a movie. There's nothing...
That was just a normal, a stupid, but
It's so stupid.
but normal Al Adamson movie.
But it was just a normal, like...
Just a normal, boring crime movie.
There's no horror, nothing like...
It's just a psychopath crime drama.
Yeah. And he made that and decided not good.
He's like, you know what? I don't like this enough.
So he made that, and you can watch like Psycho Go-Go. I mean, you can watch it if you want to. So whatever. But he decided no, fuck that. And then he took that and added new footage. I'm trying to get the fucking title. Of this.
Oh my god.
So
did
Fiend. Okay. So
did he add the daddy doctor?
No. The first,
or was it the
first change was he added the stuff with the scientist.
Okay.
So that version was called The Fiend with the Electronic Brain. So it's the same movie,
Okay.
but add in the stuff with the doctor and the reanimation and the brain chip and
Okay.
the stupid detective who interviews him.
Yeah.
That's what they added. Because he said, this is not enough horror. Let's add spooks. So he added that, okay? And then that was released, okay?
Yes.
That was also released.
So this is the second movie.
That's movie 2.
If you're following along, this is movie 2.
Then he says, no, fuck you.
That's not enough.
And then we have this, Blood of Ghastly Horror. So it's those two things, those two Frankensteins.
And then he fucking human centipeded on the fucking daddy doctor.
He centipeded on the daddy doctor with the doctor daughter.
This is Al Adamson's human centipede of film because they're all eating each other's shit.
They're literally eating shit. Each one is progressively worse than the other.
You know,
which is impressive.
And worse quality too, which is weird.
Just
I don't.
what do you say about this?
I don't fucking know. It's fucking horrible. This movie sucks.
No, this was okay. We've seen a lot of Al Adamson movies, and
I cannot believe that this is the worst Al Adamson movie I've seen.
I thought before that possibly Dracula versus Frankenstein was the most boring one, possibly.
No, this one takes the cake.
This is surprisingly worse.
I don't know how he improved, but he did, because at least his 70s movies are like stupid, boring, like bullshit, but they're not as infuriating as this movie.
Well, this is just like there's nothing. Again, it's 3 movies
Slapped together.
Frankenstein, fucking eating ass eating human centipede shit eating bullshit.
And even at that, it barely makes sense.
No, well here's the thing that kills me though. Okay, because I'm watching this movie.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
and I know. Like we go into these blind, so
Yeah.
I don't know the backstory of all this bullshit. But all I know about this movie is the title, Al Adamson, hour 25 minutes. And I remember, I think after the first flashback ended, like with him blowing up the fucking doctor, I remember thinking like, this feels really long. Like this just feels.
It is literally one of those movies that's so boring and monotonous and bland that like it feels like a 5-hour movie. I felt like we were watching this for a fucking eternity.
No, it feels unspeakably long. And then once you get to the thing with him chasing the mom and the daughter on the mountain,
Yeah.
like when that ended, and in my head I'm like, this movie's still not over.
This movie ended 3 times.
Yeah, no. After that, I was like, how is this still going?
Well,
like,
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think that's what made it so long is
Yeah.
because it literally ends 3 times.
Yes.
Like you end first time, you're like, okay, finally, we're done with the movie. Nope. And then it ends the second time, you're like, okay, now we're not done with the movie.
No.
And then it ends the third time, and you're like, final fucking Lee, it's over. Thank God.
Yeah, it's just, it does not end. And and the issue is like, it's not like, I'm not enthralled here. So you're just like, okay, well, please end. And then plot 1 ends. Okay, we're still going. Plot 2 ends. Okay, we're still going.
Yeah.
It's just it just feels unspeakably long.
I don't understand.
And that's impressive.
Yeah, well, and it's like 3 movies cut together in an hour and 25 minutes, and it feels like 3 separate movies going on at once and fucking all ending in like 3 hours.
Yeah, it feels like you just sat through 3 movies.
This movie it's so bad. Like, I would have...
Jaw dropping.
We always say this, but I would have turned it off like almost immediately.
That first scene, are you telling me that didn't speak of quality to you?
No, it made me laugh really hard when they found the head in the fucking box, but...
I think what also made me laugh in the first scene is there is a part where he like walks up to one of the women and she screams.
Yeah.
And it's silent. Just dead silence. And then we get another awkward fucking close-up. Just a super ugly close-up of this fucking idiot walking towards the camera. And then it shows her screaming again. But then they bring the audio in.
Yeah.
And it's just...
It's like really weirdly
just
timed and...
things like that just drive me insane.
It just like screams incompetence.
Yeah.
It screams that there's no one on this fucking film crew that knows how to make a movie.
Well, it's just... That's the impressive thing is like, okay, you made one shit movie. Psycho Go-Go. You made one dumb fucking movie. Okay, you're not happy.
I like to theorize that like he probably didn't make much money on any of them because no one wanted to see this garbage.
I think from what I saw, this final version made the most money.
Well, yeah, because people thought it was... that's such a shady thing to do.
Well,
release a movie and then release another movie and then release the third movie, but they're all the same movie.
It's the same movie, but stupid shit added on.
Yeah.
But in this case, I don't know about movie 2, but for this one, like there's obviously sections of Psycho a Go-Go that they took out to add more stupid shit.
Well, because Psycho a Go-Go was a full-length film.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they cut up Psycho a Go-Go so they could add random shit in.
No, yeah. They took out footage and then added in stupid bullshit.
Can I just end this like fucking thing by saying, I know we have to watch more of his movies, but I'm just going to say this now. Listen, I know he's passed away, okay? I know he's gone, but fuck you, Al Adamson. Fuck you. This movie blows. It fucking sucks. I hate everything about this movie. Yes, it made me laugh, but only because I was like deliriously hoping it would end.
You know, here's what's good. Will. If you care, by the way, you can watch this movie on Daily Motion.
Yeah, go to Daily Motion. You can search it up.
Here's what's good is there's no way in hell that the other 3 movies, if I can find them, there's no way in hell.
We found one of them.
We did. But there is no way in hell that those 3 are worse than this. I am calling it now.
Well, also, all those movies I think that were suggested are from the 70s, so at least they'll be better than this.
Well, they're going to be more like explicit, but I'm also pretty sure they're not Frankenstein projects.
Well, I meant explicit, but I also mean like at least 70s L. Adamson had an era of like I can kind of make a movie instead of I can clearly not fucking make a movie at all.
70s L. Adamson is more just shameless, which is good. For our sake.
80s L. Adamson is fucking weird, but...
There's no 80s L. Adamson.
I know. It's all 70s.
But at least, like, with, like, 70s, you get, like, Dynamite Brothers and Black Heat. And it's, like, they're not good movies, but there's things in them.
At least they're better made than this, whatever the fuck this garbage is.
Because this is, like I said...
This belongs in the fucking trash.
Not a movie.
There's no reason to watch this fucking movie. You should not go to Daily Motion and look this up because
you have to go to Daily Motion.
Don't
watch this movie.
Don't. Just watch see if you can. Here's your challenge. See if you can get past
the opening.
The opening, at least to the part where they have the flashback.
Oh yeah. Let me know if your
can make it there.
brain doesn't snap in half sitting through the horribly acted police station scene with the pawn shop actors.
See if you can.
Let me know.
See if you can make it. See if you can make it. Them finding a fucking head in a box and one of them smiles. See if you can make it past that.
The man with a tiny tie.
Yeah, the man with the tiniest tie, even for the '60s.
Cringe.
Because I know ties were small in the '60s, but you pulled your pants up higher. So
you know what else was small in the '60s? Al Adamson's brain.
So, I mean. This is weird because it's like we're making history on Team Cone because this is only the second movie we reviewed from the 60s.
And it had to be this man.
Which is, I do not suggest going and looking up our very first episode, which is Manos, Hands of Fate.
No.
Please do not. It is very rough.
There's
Listen.
nothing that needs to be said about Manos, Hands of Fate.
Mistakes were made.
About the Hands of Fate.
So, there's lots of mistakes in that episode, but that's the only other.
But is it as big of a mistake as Al Adamson's film Blood of Ghastly Horror from 1967?
No. So that perfectly segues us to Shitty to Pretty and
Please.
My God.
Okay. I said like 75% of this movie, because eventually I just started screaming. I just started screaming the words, bitch, what, at this movie.
I literally saw you, a fully grown man, go into the fetal position multiple times.
What happened? I think it was like...
I don't know.
There was some horrible edit that just made me lose my mind, and I was just like...
You literally held your knees with your arms and rocked back and forth and like pleaded for it to stop.
I was just like, stop the movie. Because...
at some point, I had multiple times where my hand was fully like palmed in both of my hands. My head was palmed.
You were screaming into your hands. Okay? Yes. This is literally bitch what the movie.
Well, because literally in multiple scenes, you're just like, what?
Yeah.
Bitch, what? Why? Why are
everything
they doing
happens?
This?
They're just like, what? So really, Shitty Pretty? What? That's it.
It's a 1.
It's a shit.
Like. Thank you, Blackwater Media, for suggesting another 1 because we haven't had one in quite a while.
It's good.
So that was a good and I'm serious about this. Unironically, thank you for this because we've had it too good.
No, it's very impressive when you watch like a regular bad movie and then you watch something like this and you're just like
we've had it too good. We've had it like nothing past like a 4.
Yeah, it's been a good run for a while.
Yeah. For a good long while, so thank you for the 1 because we needed a swift kick in the fucking dick.
I need to remember.
I mean, I think even Quadhead Zone, didn't we give it like a 2?
Did we?
I don't know. I can't remember what we rated it. Maybe we were wrong. Maybe Quadhead Zone did get a 1.
Know
that movie made us very angry.
Hot take. I mean, I don't know if this is a hot take.
Oh my god, are you gonna say this movie is worse?
This
than
is
Quad
worse than Quad Zone.
Yeah, at least Quad Zone had the schwa 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 schwa.
Well,
schwa, schwa.
do you? None of it. Like, just think about your reactions watching Quad Zone, and I know there was like lots of yelling and lots of just like, you know, hands on your temple squeezing during that movie, but I still feel like it was less than this, which is impressive.
I think that Quad Zone, maybe it's like equally as bad, but like it's less annoying than this movie because it didn't feel at least Quad Zone
was
like
shorter.
It was shorter vignettes.
I will say this: it fucking felt shorter too.
At least each story ended and didn't feel like the end of the movie, which gave me hope, like this movie did.
Bold.
Because this movie, every time it ended, quote unquote, gave me hope that it was finally over, and it wasn't. It does that 3 times.
Well, here's the thing. What drove me insane is that every time it quote unquote ended, I knew that's not the end of it because I'm like, but there's still the other plot.
That's the most annoying part.
It's like it quote unquote ends, but in your head you're like, there's still 20 more minutes.
I fucking hate it.
There's still an hour left.
So I'm sorry to speak ill of the dead, but fuck you, Al Adamson. Fuck this goddamn movie.
Bless you, Al Adamson. Thank you.
This movie can go straight to hell.
We've had hours of pain.
And that's all I have to say. This movie can go to hell. It's fucking awful. It's fucking terrible. It's miserable. I will never watch it again. I fucking hated this experience. Thank you, Blackwater Media, for suggesting it, but I really fucking hated this movie.
I didn't know how good we had it.
We really didn't. We had it too good for too long.
Oh man, you know something's bad when it's fucking makes me think more fondly of Quad Zone.
That is shocking. That like I would rather watch Quad Zone than this.
Yeah, like this is not as bad as Black Devil Doll from Hell, but my God,
I don't think anything.
Al Adamson really outdid himself.
He really did. He really like dug through the shit to produce this one. He really fucking like bottom of the barrel this movie. It's fucking terrible. But if you want to watch it, go to Daily Motion.
Yeah, look up Blood of Ghastly Horror.
Yep.
Which, by the way, is
go have a good time. It's a terrible rip.
That's not a title.
No, it's a terrible fucking rip, and it looks awful, and it fucking feels awful, and I feel awful, and I feel like I need a fucking like shower, a long hot scalding shower after this fucking movie.
It's embarrassing.
But I think that's all I have. Do you have anything else to say?
No, that's it. That's it.
So for They Mostly Come Out at Night, this has been Will.
This has been Alex.
And we will talk to you all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Fucking broads.
Fuck you, Al
Y'all
Adamson.
the same.
Fuck you, Al Adamson. Fucking schlocky bullshit director. Fuck you.